Hey there folks, welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for a film called Poor Things. And for those interested, request any type of videos, reviews, topics, reactions, re-reviews, video game playthroughs, commenters, what have you. Feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And yeah, this is for Poor Things, a 2023 film that, of course, nominated for Oscars. Sure, figure that because the Oscars ain't been worth a spiff for a longest time. The Iron Claw, which I thought was a rather good movie about the Von Erich family and the tragedy that what happened to them, starring Zac Efron. I think a fairly good film. I would say technically the best film I saw in that year. Doesn't get nominated. But this film and Barbie, they do get nominated. Of course, it's the same that thought Black Panther was one of the best Oscar-nominated film. Heat, Michael Mann, nah. But Black Panther, sure. I'm like, Blade was better than Black Panther. Give me Blade any day. I bet if I took the... I'm going off tangent. This film... I'm trying to see who directed this. And you're wondering why I look like this. It's a big sense of fatigue. Because this movie was 2.5 hours long. There are films I like that are long, don't get me wrong. Shawshank Redemption. Heat with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. That does not mean I want every film to be 2.5, 3 hours long. Yorgos Lanthimos. It stars Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe. And how to describe this film? Frankenstein meets girl power meets sexual revolution, I guess, meets weirdness. And it's very overlong. I thought it was very, very boring. Emma Stone, I did not mind some parts of her performance, but at the same time, sometimes it felt a bit too over the top. Spoilers. The plot of the film is Willem Dafoe, he's a scientist that you might as well call Frankenstein if he had the jigsaw face from the Punisher comics. And him and this assistant, but he's also a student, named Max, they're looking at this girl. And this girl, played by Emma, is acting fairly childlike, where she has these tantrums and she'll waddle around like a duck and she'll put her arms up and down. Because as you come to find out, cut to the chase on this, she is a child mind in an adult body. Because she had walked off a cliff, she had died, she was pregnant, so Dr. Frankenstein wannabe took the body, took her brain out, put the brain of the unborn kid into her brain, and so that's why, again, she's a child mind, adult body. Don't get into the specifics of how a brain that big, it's sci-fi, yes, whatever. A brain that big, but then whatever. So we see her acting weird because of this. She twirls around. There's literally a line that I'm saying this because it's the line in the movie where the guy Max says, "What a pretty retard." That's a line in the movie. And sometimes the film is done in like these fish islands, just whenever the director feels like it. And a lot of its 2 hour running time, 2.5 hours, sorry, is her either acting like a kid. There's a part where they're looking at bodies and she looks at another body, gets some knife or scissors, hitting the eyes and going squish, squish, squish. The fact she hasn't become a serial killer, I'm surprised. And it's trying to be some symbolism about a lady like realizing her growth and her what she's capable of and her sexuality. So she'll discover the joy of masturbation, and she even tries to do it at the dinner table. Tries to put stuff in her at the dinner table. Defoe thinks that this med student Max should marry her. I'm sitting there going, yeah, but she has the mind of a kid still. Wouldn't that still be kind of pedo mentality? So the fact that Max agrees with this, the fact that, well, I thought she was going to be your mistress. And the first thing she says, I'll be right back, man. Sorry about that. I need to clear my head on this a little bit because I sincerely got really tired after watching this film. I really did. Because again, this film did not need to be 2.5 hours long. Yeah, I keep harping on that because it's true. There's so many people in this day and age of Hollywood that do not know anything about pacing or editing their films. It's such a common thing. That's why I feel like a broken record because I say it all the time. This is the case. About a girl that has the mind of a kid and the body of an adult, and she discovers masturbation, and she discovers sex, and then wants sex, and then everyone's a creep in some way. Willem Dafoe would call her a creep because he's a father figure. And he did say, well, no, I don't think of her that way because of this father, I have this, parental figure. But that's not the first thing he says. Because the Max guy goes, well, I thought she was going to be your mistress. And the first thing he says is that he can't fuck her. Not won't, can't. So that means if he could, then he probably would. But then he says, well, I'm a parental figure. And to be fair, throughout the parts in the movie, he does treat her as a dad, a parental figure, a loving one. But then again, that bit of the head was like, well, no, if you had the opportunity, if you could, then you probably would. This Max guy, I don't know why you would want to marry someone who's got the mind of a kid. And he's supposed to be like one of the nicer guys in the film. Mark Ruffalo, which, of course, he joined this because he what was the one time where he defended someone who was a pedo? You look up the story online. There was a, a pedo that he defended, and a sicko weirdo, like most of Hollywood. So of course he's in this. Well, he's a lawyer, and he comes by and sees her like that, and she wants adventure, so she decides to go with him. We'll see you after great adventure. Drugs Max, tossed to Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe says, I don't want you to go, but okay. Because if he doesn't let her go, she'll learn to hate him. You have more sets where she's riding Mark Ruffalo. You have some nice looking sets that's supposed to be Lisbon and Alexandria. I'll give you that. There's some nice set design. There could be some decent cinematography. I don't care for the fisheye lens moments, because they just seem out of the blue, and I don't really feel there's any necessary reasons for it, other than to just have a shot different for the sake of it. Once in a while, there's a piece of humor that works fine enough, because Emma's character, she has no filter. She says stuff very blunt and honest. And throughout the film, you see that she's getting smarter and smarter and smarter. So Mark Ruffalo takes her onto this cruise ship, and they're having this dinner with other people. And she's blunt because they tell a joke about the taste of someone, and she bluntly says, "Oh, you mean a penis? Well, sometimes his tastes salty. Excuse me. I must go punch that baby." What are you doing? Well, the baby is annoying. That woman is boring with her words. That woman is boring with her words. I mean, so that gets a bit of a chuckle from time to time. And it's that sort of awkwardness of she'll say stuff very blunt and honest, and then people can laugh and chuckle at her bluntness. To me, that only goes so far with the film, because I don't think the film offers much of anything else to that effect. She'll be fine with sleeping with others because, as she puts it, I had the heat that needed release, and it was. She meets two people that are philosophers, and she learns more from them. One of them tells her that polite society will destroy you. I did like that she gets to know her with Mark Ruffalo crying and confused. Mark Ruffalo doesn't like that she's changing, meaning that, oh, the subtext is men just want women as mindless drones and the mind of a child, but once they learn to be independent and strong, then we men are such savages that, we white men, I should say, we white men are such savages, we're going to take this old woman and try to throw her ass off the cruise ship. And then that guy gets, I would say arrested, but not really, just gets dragged away. And then when they get close to Alexandria, the male philosopher shows her about the horrors of the world, where there's poverty and there's people there who are sick. And but that's the thing, is that we're pretty much told that she's more of a philosopher. I don't really get an idea of really showing, for a movie this long, we're not really shown how she becomes much more a philosopher. I guess, to be fair, there's maybe one or two moments where she's reading a book, to be fair, but it feels like we should be shown a lot more of that, to go from wanting to punch a baby to now you're saddened to see all these poor folks in ghastly situations. We need more of her dealings with Mark Ruffalo than of her awakening of moral compass. Seems like that should be the other way around, but what do I know? And then she wants to help, so she gives her money to the crew, but the crew just take the money. And then her and Mark Ruffalo get thrown off, and they go to Paris. Mark Ruffalo, he's pissed off, which, I mean, it's your fault, buddy. You have this girl that's the mind of a kid. What did you expect? And the fact that you gambled all the money away. To be fair with Emma's character, she never really comes off as a victim. Maybe that's probably one of the more interesting bits. She never comes off as a victim. She's always, again, matter of fact. She's, for the most part, never in turmoil, depressed or anything. Just going forward. Because she starts working at a brothel to get money, Mark Ruffalo gets pissed off about that. She's like, well, since I've been with these other people, it glads my heart towards you, but he gets pissed off about this. She gets confused. I'm sitting there going, where is this going? What is the point of it? It just, so much of this movie, I just sit there and go, I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. I don't care what's going on. I'm not interested. I'm not intrigued. It's so overlong. It goes so slow. It's so damn boring. The visuals, I mean, the visuals at times are fine, but I mean, I've seen other films, like A Cure for Wellness, which I thought was overlong too, but I'd much rather watch that film, and I think that film had more impressive visuals. A Cure for Wellness. Even some of the films by Terry Gilliam or other stuff have more impressive visuals. This, I mean, okay, it makes it look like not exactly how it was back in the day, but I don't know, I mean, cinematography only goes so far, and then maybe if you're like me, you've seen too many damn things. It's hard to be impressed nowadays. I don't know. Pretty much her being in this brothel, betting men one by one. Talks with the head mistress lady who owns it. And there's a part where she says some words and like tries to go down on her, and then I swear it's like we never see her again, or if we do, I don't know. There's not really any come to Jesus moments with her. She does bed African American lady, and I guess that's like her most positive lovemaking session. So I don't know if that means she's a lesbian now. And it's like, is this what it's about? Like, it's just about a Frankenstein lady who has a lot of sex, batter fat blunt, and then she becomes a lesbian. You have this one weird scene that a guy is having sex with her, but the guy's two kids are watching because he wants the kids to study his techniques or something. And granted, these kids, I don't know how old they are. Maybe, I don't know, they're meant to be 15, 16, I don't know. But either way, it's weird. And fits well with Hollywood's prerogative of loving the pedos. Let that be a theme in the movie, a big theme, and yeah, let that be the same group that praised Roman Polanski for how many years and decades when they knew what the hell he did. And Woody Allen, and all these other guys that they praise or promote. I bet some of the new Harvey Weinstein. I mean, it's like they're not even hiding anymore, and then they praise this, and it's like the Poor Things is the fucking viewer. I don't care if this is a nonsensical review. It doesn't deserve my cents, my 2 cents, my 3 cents, from my 4 head, my 5 head, my 54 head. Give a shit. And I don't know if we're to assume that she had sex with those kids next. Maybe. I think that's when she becomes that lesbian thing. Ultimately, she makes enough money. She goes back. By this point, let's say Willem Dafoe and they made another girl in the same way who also has a mind of a child. She comes back to be married to Max, which I'm sitting there going, why the hell do you still want to be married to this lady? I don't know. I'm sorry, Max, you give me no good reason as to why you want to be married to this lady. Or even why she wants to be married to him at this point. Like, okay, maybe she's bi? Maybe that's the thing? If she, whatever. Maybe she's bisexual, maybe that's the point. And the husband of that girl that died at the beginning, which is her body, Victoria, he comes by, wants her back, then pretty much threatens her in his abode, saying, you don't screw up your genitals. And she's like, I ain't gonna do that, and I'd rather do this. And he pulls a gun. She throws this stuff in his face. He, blinded, shoots his own foot. They take the guy. They take his brain out. They give him the brain of a goat. She goes to Willem Dafoe's room. He dies in his sleep. Or he dies sleeping. Peaceful. And so there she is with, I don't even know if it's her husband now or whoever Max is there. Her lesbian lover from Paris, the younger one, African American, she's there. This housekeeper is there. The other girl that was maid, she's there. And there's the general, the bad guy. He's got the mind of a goat. Mark Ruffalo, other than the last time we saw him was during that marriage ceremony to get the general, and then we never see him again. The fact he never got his brain transplanted is unsatisfying. But granted, you have to have a brain to do that, and for all intents and purposes, Mark Ruffalo don't have one of those. Can't transplant something that's not there in the first place. I know this is a bumbling, rambling review, and it barely made sense, but that's kind of perfect because that's my mindset watching the film. I just gave you a wandering detour of what my conscious and subconscious was doing while watching this film. Well, I'm sitting there and going, okay, this is the premise. That's what it's about? Really? Okay, this is like trying to be very sicko, weirdo, avant-garde, because we're a foreign director, so because we're a foreign director, then we're on. It's like when that stupid TV show Cuties was made, and you have people in Hollywood defending the show. God forbid, you get some sensibilities. I would say that some of the cinematography is not too shabby. some of the sets, whether I'm guessing sets built, they're not too shabby either. Emma in the lead, she does what she can for what she's provided in the role, for what was written for her. Although the beginning they go a bit too overboard with her acting like a kid, but okay, guess I'll let that go. The her matter of fact, blunt dialogue at times got a chuckle out of me. But again, this is mostly what goes on for 2.5 hours. Where again, to sum up the plot is there's Mark Ruffalo. They go on a cruise ship. They have sex. She gets some philosophy. She finds poor people. She's ticked off. They're in Paris. That whole helping the poor thing is kind of abandoned later on. I mean, she may say stuff, but she doesn't really do anything to help the poor that she was so gung-ho about. Like, she was so gung-ho about that, then really what did she do for the rest of it to help the poor? Not really a whole lot. Pretty much to make money to get back home. Which again, that girl was there, so I just would assume that she went all the way back to Paris, paid for her to go all the way back here. I guess is she married to Max, but then has sex with both of them? Did we get three-way action? Is she married to him but has sex with her? I don't fucking know. I don't care. I guess maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. And I really don't think this film has as much deep subtext as people make it out to be. To me, this still comes off as rather shallow and boring compared to other movies. And there's so many ways this could have been cut down and shortened. And like things that have like, why do they create another girl with a infant mind? Like, what was the purpose of that? It was the purpose is to give this person a kid of her own, since maybe her body the way it is, she can never have a kid naturally. But she never has any interactions with this person. They're in the same realm at the end, but there's never any moments where she talks to her. You think that'd be like a pretty deep conversation, like, what? You're like me, and I'm like you. They don't really do a whole lot with that aspect. Max, you would think you have a bit of questions of this girl from Paris. Who's she, and what's she about, and do you love me, or do you love her, or do you love both of us? That really doesn't come into play. Mark Ruffalo seemed like he should get a lot more of her comeuppance. He doesn't. That's not really satisfying. This general guy, it feels like for a good chunk of it, Mark Ruffalo's the bad guy, and then this general comes out of nowhere. Well, in the third act, is like, oh, now he's the bad guy, now he's doing this, and now we gotta... I mean, I think it would have been rather fit if Mark Ruffalo, you find out he was with that Victoria lady all along, and that's why he wanted to personally take the case to be a lawyer of this estate and see her. Maybe he heard rumors, or maybe, I don't know, he heard something about it and wanted to confirm it, and this was like his second chance, but he's a warped weirdo, and no one said this general guy, oh yeah, I was with you when you died at the beginning, and now I want you back. Just felt like now this villain in the third act is, I don't even think was even referenced in the first 2/3 of it that I can remember. Also, you think that general, You think people would ask where the hell he's at when he disappeared? And if anyone ever comes to his house, they hope. Why the hell is he over there barking like a goat? Well, ghosts don't bark. Well, bleep, bleep, bleep. What the hell he's doing? Why is he doing that? Why is there a big scar on the side of his face? I guess no one's going to be looking for him. When there's a big marriage thing where he busted in and say, "Hey, you're mine," and you think people would come ask and search the premises, unless they hide him in a closet. They'd be like, blah, blah. Who the hell are you? What the hell is this guy doing here? Why does he sound like a goat? Why does he got a big old scar on his face? What the fuck? What the shit? Willem Dafoe, I mean, he's a good actor, good established actor. I think he does what he can. His makeup does seem like, Jigsaw from The Punisher. I don't know how many people get that reference, but I say he does what he can with the role. So again, I don't think Emma or Willem Dafoe really gave bad performances. It's just the whole, okay, woman, hear me roar, let me find my identity, most men are trash. I mean, pretty much every white guy is trash in one way or another. Even Willem Dafoe, he's probably the nicest, but at the same time, you're thinking, why did he make this in the first place for this experiment? Again, his first notion, I can't fuck her. Well, that means you wanted to do it at one point. You can't now, but you wanted to at one point. I don't know, just. I don't know. Max, you want to marry this person who has even at this point, the mind of a child. That makes you a fucking weirdo. Mark Ruffalo is a scummy guy. The crew is a scummy for taking the damn money for the poor. All the people going to better. Because what was the headmistress said? They enjoy that you're not into it. Well, good for them. That ain't me. No one said it was you. I know. But just. Like the black guy is the one that has the no malice or ill intent of any sort, because it's to teach her philosophy and be your own independent. And now that she's more a woman, then I think he beds her. And I'm not making this stuff up. It's in the movie. So of course, yeah, hates white men. Has a bit of the pedo. Especially that guy who has his two kids watching. It's 2.5 hours long, so that must mean it's an epic movie with a huge lot of stature. I don't remember a damn thing about the music. And honestly, a lot of it I thought was really boring. I keep repeating that. Very fucking boring. If I want to see a movie about a woman standing on her own 2 feet, I'll go watch Alien. I'll go watch The Terminator. I'll go watch G.I. Jane. God. I'd rather go watch Blue Steel again. This ain't for you. Well, good. You're right, this ain't for me. You know what's for me? The Iron Claw was for me. Searching with John Cho was for me. A lot of movies were for me that didn't get jack shit with the Oscars. Kidnap with Halle Berry was for me. Look how many people give a crap on that movie. You want to see a movie about strong woman. There you go. Kidnap with Halle Berry. And how much crap that movie got. And I still think it's underrated. Anyway, I'm just having more and more rambling thoughts, but I think my brain's been fried watching too many movies like this. That's what I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't an A24 release movie. I really am surprised. Which is funny, I like the Iron Claw, that was A24, but that's one of the surprises. Like, this feels more like their crappy wheelhouse. You know what? Go watch Frankenhooker instead. There you go. You want to see the better version of this movie? Go watch Frankenhooker. Want a date? There you go. Frankenhooker beat you to it. Woman brought back from the dead. That's a movie that's actually rather funny. And didn't need to be 2.5 hours long. And about someone that gains a certain sense of knowledge by the end. Frankenhooker. Beat you to it and get it better. Frankenhooker for the Rin. For the win, the Rin. Rin Tin Tin. Like this movie can suck my doggy dick. About them apples. Poor things. Yeah, poor souls that watch this. But hey, does it 8.4 on to be? People praise it, love it. I don't care. Obviously, I do care, as I mentioned, but after this, I won't care. To me, Iron Claw is still the best film of 2023. You're just mad. Yeah, I am mad, but I'm also mad this film sucks, in my opinion. You don't share it, that's fine. That's your opinion. I have a right to mine as well. This ain't a review, it's a rambling rant. You damn straight. And I'm not doing it again. This is all I got for now. Because it fits perfectly. The way I'm talking now, rambling, is how my mind acted watching the movie. Just call me the Rambler. And I ramble on and on and on and on. Hate Hollywood. Hate the sickos. Hate the weirdos. Can Hollywood just burn? I can't even see Hollywood. I can't even see Hollywood because it was a foreign guy that made it. What I'm talking about. A foreign guy made it. But Oscars, you know, they accept it. Yes, this is what we want. Yeah, I'm sure it's what you want, Hollywood. Big surprise. Later.